Last week was Canadian Thanksgiving, and instead of the usual turkey dinner at home, our family took off on an epic adventure. We took a train towards the ocean, rented a 5-bedroom penthouse, hopped on an overnight ferry, drove across a beautiful island, joined some family for Thanksgiving dinner, and then crossed off Kinley's wish list item to get home by hopping on her first airplane ride. We soaked up the magic of the autumn backdrop, and this trip ended up being something much deeper than just a getaway. And today, I want to take you behind the scenes of that journey. Welcome to the Manifestation and Money podcast, the show where we tackle the taboo topics of money and manifestation. I'm your host, Jenny Schultz, former 9-to-5 grinder who ditched the status quo and went all in on creating a life I love. Yes, I use manifestation. Yes, I took action. And yes, I created a 7-figure net worth before turning 40. Every week, I'll bring you inspiring stories with money mavens and manifestation masters. From learning how to make more, save more, and grow your wealth to unlocking the power of manifesting your dream life. I am so excited to play in this space with you. Let's jump into creating a life you love. Hey, manifestors and money magnets. Welcome back to the Manifestation and Money podcast, where we talk about creating the life you love and the income streams to support it. So about this trip. Well, this trip started off in the most unexpected way 2 years ago, and it evolved into a 3-generation trip of a lifetime. We traveled on this trip with our kids and our parents, which, yes, meant 3 generations, lots and lots of snacks, big emotions, and beautiful moments that I know we will all remember forever. So there was a core 8 of us on this trip from 4 different households, which meant that we were all adapting and merging our individual personal routines on the fly and as a group to coexist as a collective. And it went amazingly well. I witnessed so much unconditional love shared, and of course, a bit of space and patience where needed. But this trip was beyond my expectations. And if you've listened to me for long enough, you'll know that I like to set the bar pretty high. The initial seed for this trip started off 2 years ago when a 2-night ocean view penthouse was up for auction at Casey's school. Chris and I had a mini kitchen conversation between packing lunches and getting kids off to school about how it would be really cool to win one of the auctions and take the train to the location of the penthouse. That whole conversation was less than a minute. And since we're both action takers, we realized later that evening that we were both the proud leaders of 2 separate auctions for 5-bedroom penthouse suites. And whoops, but from that, our idea began to expand. So maybe we'd be going for 4 nights instead of our initial 2 nights. And if we did that, who would we take? And if you recall, one of my favorite questions is, what do I want? Cue the wish list starting for our epic penthouse vacation. We knew we wanted to take the kids, and we thought it would be extra sweet to round this trip out with the grandparents, making it that 3-generational trip. And then with seconds to go on the auction close, we actually lost out on one of the 2-night penthouse lots. So in the end, we were actually the proud owners of 1 2-night stay in the penthouse. After winning that auction, the years seemed to kind of fly by without much planning. Although the one thing that we did add to the wish list was that we did want to take the trip during the fall time to see all of the autumn colors on that train ride. Lucky for us, the school hosted another auction, and it did have another option to bid on a 2-night penthouse suite at that same hotel. And now this time when it came to auction close, I had my trigger finger on the bid up button as I was determined to win that item. Double our stay to 4 nights in the penthouse. And because in my head, we were already staying those 4 nights. And yes, we did win that second auction. Here's where we really got to expand our initial wish list. We knew we had an extra bedroom even after inviting the grandparents. So we invited along an auntie. Kinley wanted to see a mermaid. Don't know if that one ever actually played out, but she also wanted to go on her first airplane ride. Casey wanted to see tidal pools and whales. Papa wanted a fresh crab feast. I personally wanted to sample different bowls of fresh chowder. So we all had our input and our idea really began to take shape. And the more we thought about it, if we were all getting together and going on this trip, why not expand on it even more? We added in an overnight ferry ride, extended our trip to go over Thanksgiving weekend so we could visit additional island family members. And guys, this trip played out beyond our wildest expectations. The train was on time, which That might not sound like a big deal. You're paying for a ticket, it should be on time. But the passenger trains often have to go to a side track to allow freight trains to go by. We've taken the train before and we have arrived hours late every single time. So the fact that this train was perfectly on time, it was actually a few minutes early, was amazing. We saw humpback whales on our ferry ride. We had the most amazing fall weather. We had packed gumboots and rain gear, prepping for rain because typically this time of year, in the places we were going to rainforests, essentially, it can be wet and rainy. But we packed around dry gear the whole trip. Trust me, I'm not complaining. I was happy to be packing around dry gear. And we finally busted them out on our second to last day so the kids could play in the tides. We wandered beaches looking for shells. We saw jellyfish, starfish, seals. We ate delicious fresh crab. And it was so special to watch the kids walking hand in hand with the adults on the trip and just to see new places through their eyes because they see things differently. And from our penthouse suite, we saw a cruise ship. We saw stunning sunsets and that most amazing harvest moon. I don't know if y'all saw that last week. It was gorgeous. It was the kind of trip that reminded me of how rich life can feel. And I'm not just saying that from the perspective of the fancy hotels or the crab dinners. That's not what made it rich. It was the presence, the gratitude, the connections. And in quiet moments, whether when I was sitting watching the waves or hearing my kids giggle with their grandparents, I found myself deeply moved by gratitude. And not just for the big stuff, but for the little things. Like things that I feel I might not often fully appreciate, especially in this season of my life as a parent with young ones. Like things like appreciation for the ferry workers who got us safely across, the housekeepers for bringing us clean towels, the gardeners, even the person who designed the walkway that we strolled out every morning, or the cooks who prepared the most delicious chowder. And I found on my trip there was two outstanding places. I can't compare which was better because they were both absolutely perfect. If you ever go to Prince Rupert, check out the restaurant in the Crest Hotel, or if you're over on Vancouver Island, pop over to Parksville and hit up the Rusted Rake. Both places, the chowder was outstanding. And when we really stop to see that everyone adds value here on this planet, something inside us shifts. You appreciate just being part of a coexistence, being a puzzle piece in this thing called life, noticing where we can help others or lift them up, noticing how we can add value in relationships or in community to our planet. In the manifestation world, we often talk about energy and frequency, right? And it is my experience that gratitude and love are two of the highest frequencies you can tap into. And on this trip, we fueled up literally on gas, on coffee, on snacks, so many snacks. But energetically, we were also fueling up with presence, with gratitude, with unconditional love for each other. To fuel your goals and your manifestations, think of leaning into high frequencies like love and gratitude. It is the fuel to your dreams. It doesn't just get things moving, it amplifies the experience of what is already good. And when you're grateful for what you already have, you are in perfect vibrational alignment to call in more. Gratitude says, I trust that I am taken care of, or I already see how abundant life is. And gratitude says, more of this, please. So just like tiny seeds need nurturing to grow, our manifestations and dreams and goals, they need love and presence and appreciation. And gratitude isn't just the celebration after something arrives, it is the invitation that helps it show up in the first place. This podcast is called Manifestation and Money. And yes, money matters. But at the end of the day, money is a tool, it's a currency, a conduit, a frequency that connects us to our desires. What we really want isn't just money, it's the life that money allows us to create. This trip was a beautiful reminder of that. We saw a rainbow out of that top floor penthouse suite that lasted for over 2 hours as we played games around a table. And the kids found a random ping pong ball in our suite, and they created a game with empty bowls and cups. That didn't cost money. Yes, we used money to buy train tickets, book ferry cabins, and rent a car. But what we really invested in was memory making, connection, joy. This trip was about anchoring a loving feeling and a reminder that wealth isn't just about bank accounts. It's about experiences that money makes possible. And honestly, I think our souls crave experiences. We are creatures of habit, but to break out of our routines from time to time is so good for us. The simplicity of traveling out of a suitcase with 4 outfits was liberating. Laundry was simple. I was chatting with a client about this same thing after she returned from a recent trip, and now I really get it. I feel new energy after returning home, and I feel inspired to shake up my day-to-day routine and allow space for what I want more of, and to systemize the clunky areas that, well, they need some work. Honestly, I see a good household purge in my future, and I'm sure Chris will be thrilled with this news, as I love to hang on to sentimental things or stuff things into forgotten boxes and tuck them in a closet somewhere. But right now, I am inspired from living out of that backpack and suitcase, and I am going to hold on to this feeling with gratitude and just roll with it. So, I want to ask you as we come out of Thanksgiving, or for my American friends who are heading into Thanksgiving next month, what are you grateful for today? What small, beautiful things make your life feel rich right now? And can you pause to notice them and say thank you? Because that is the energy that brings your future desires closer. And maybe you're not taking a big trip this week, but can you walk with more presence? Can you cook dinner while whispering thank you? For the farmers who grew the veggies, the truck driver who got them to the store, the grocer who filled the bins, the checkout clerk who smiled goodbye. Can you breathe in the beauty of your current life, even as you reach for more? If you want to come chat with me further as a two-way conversation, instead of me just yammering in your ear here, then I invite you inside my new school community. It's free. I'll pop the link in the show notes because honestly, I can't even remember what it is right now. It's so new, but it is a space where you can connect with me, ask questions, try out some of the tools I share, including the ones that I personally use to manifest our lake house. I'd love to get to know you more and see where your head is at around manifestation and money. You don't have to wait till things are perfect to feel grateful. In fact, it's your gratitude that gets you closer to the dream. Thanks for spending time with me today. Keep noticing the good. Lean into the high vibration feelings like love and gratitude. And remember, you matter. We all matter. We are all beautiful puzzle pieces that connect together in this game of life. So let's keep it fun. Infuse your environment with things and experiences and people who light you up. Catch you in the next episode. Cheers to creating a life you love. Thank you for hanging out with me on the Manifestation and Money podcast. If you're ready to take your manifesting to the next level, come join me inside the Manifestation Playground. It's an intentional space I've created to explore, experiment, and expand your manifestation potential. It's where the magic happens. So head on over to www.manifestationplayground.ca to find out more. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep taking aligned action. Cheers to creating a life you love.